I start off with modeling. I used to block out the volumes in ZBrush, decimate and import it back into Max, then starting to build my base mesh on top of those imported volumes. Then after roughing out the block out, I would assess where the edge, loops, and cuts need to go. For this character, I decided to use cross-form technique to cut his joints. Let me show you. This is a joint deformation example. I pulled it off Google Images. Basically, it shows 3 examples. The one on the right, the kind of the incorrect way of doing it, and the 2 on the middle and the left. The center one works with low topology and works very well with game characters. The one on the left could work with characters that are more for kind of cinematic use, characters who have higher try count within them. So even though here it shows like 3 loops, 3 segments for the joint, that's, you know, not necessarily, that's the least amount. You can totally go higher if you have the budget for it and make it work. Again, it's something that's up close to the camera. Yeah, the one in the center could totally work if the camera is up close, but I mean, it has to match the style of all the other characters as well. With all these examples, if the animator takes it a little bit too far and starts overbending things, then shading errors will definitely ensue. But the one in the middle is called the cross-form kind of technique, if you want to put a name to it. With the example in the middle, you can kind of imagine that the top part or the bottom is the forearm, and then the other part is the bicep, and then when the forearm is kind of going through the other. But it actually looks natural and normal if you don't go overboard with it, because it starts visually representing a fold or a skin fold. So it totally works out. As you can see, I'm using a simple rig in this demonstration, just basically using standard boxes to rig the character. Nothing fancy. One of the goals were to actually create him the simplest way possible. And I mean, you can get out of this character anything you want in terms of deformation. Same kind of principle applies to the knee, and you know, close idea to the ankle. Also, the jaw kind of follows under the same principle as well. The way I like to work is to add a hotkey to the swift loop command, making it super easy to add edge loop. I also use expert pivot point script in JJ scripts bundle, allowing me to place the pivot point in the center of the mesh selected. Now I can add a symmetry modifier and only concentrate on one side of the model.